Finally, fast fashion brands are overproducing to meet the demands of modern trends, and it's creating a huge environmental problem in West Africa.
The fashion industry puts out 100 to 150 billion garments a year.
Of fashion, fast fashion, as we all know, big subject of the moment, it's generated almost 2 million tons of waste last year.
Think your favorite fast fashion top just wore out quickly? What if I told you it was actually designed to? This isn't a manufacturing accident, a stroke of bad luck, or a minor flaw in a massive production line. This is a multi-billion-dollar secret engineering project. Right now, as you sit there watching this, you are likely walking around in garments that are scientifically programmed to self-destruct. Welcome to the world of scam. Today, we're peeling back the polyester curtain on the dark underbelly of fast fashion. We're going far beyond the sweatshops and the environmental waste, which are horrific enough, and we're looking at the forensics. We are going to expose how the industry uses microscopic engineering to trap you in an endless cycle of repurchasing, essentially turning your wardrobe into a hidden subscription service you never signed up for. Prepare to see your clothes, your closet, and the global economy in a whole new and much darker light. To understand how badly we're being scammed, we first have to look at what we've lost. If you go into your grandmother's closet today and find a coat from the 1970s or a dress from the 60s, you'll notice something immediately before you even put it on. Feel the weight of the fabric. Look at the tightness of the weave. Inspect the seams. 50 years ago, clothing was an investment. It was common for a single winter coat to last a decade, or for a pair of work trousers to be passed down through siblings. Why? Because back then, the business model was based on loyalty. If a brand sold you a coat that fell apart in 6 months, you'd never go back. You'd tell your neighbors, and that brand would die. But in the late 1990s and early 2000s, something shifted in the boardroom. The industry realized that durability was the ultimate enemy of exponential growth. If your clothes last forever, the market reaches a saturation point. To keep the billions flowing, they needed you to buy more. And to make you buy more, they needed your current clothes to die. Enter the concept of planned obsolescence. Usually we talk about this with iPhones or light bulbs. In fact, the first major instance of this was the Phoebus cartel in the 1920s, where light bulb manufacturers colluded to reduce the lifespan of bulbs from 2,500 hours to just 1,000 to ensure people had to keep buying them. The fashion industry watched that and said, we can do that with cotton. But the most successful implementation of planned obsolescence isn't sitting in your pocket or hanging from your ceiling, it's hanging on your back. Let's get clinical and look at the fabric forensics. When you buy a shirt from a major fast fashion titan, the ones you see advertised on every Instagram story and TikTok haul, you think you're getting a deal. $12 for a hoodie feels like a steal, but look at the tag. It likely says 60% cotton and 40% polyester, or increasingly, it's a terrifying mix of acrylic, nylon, and other fibers. Here is the scam. These aren't just cheap materials, they are chemically unstable blends. Natural fibers like cotton or wool have physical scales or structures that allow them to grip each other and hold their shape. Synthetic fibers like polyester are essentially smooth plastic tubes created from petroleum. When you blend a high-quality natural fiber with a cheap synthetic one, the different rates of friction, moisture absorption, and heat resistance cause the fabric to pill almost instantly. Those little fuzzy balls that appear on your sweater after just 2 wears, that is the fabric literally shredding itself because the materials were never meant to be together. It's a chemical divorce happening on your chest. Furthermore, these synthetic fibers are often over-processed with chemical softeners. When you touch a new shirt in a store like Zara or H&M, it feels incredibly soft, almost like silk. That's not quality. That's a chemical coating designed to mimic quality. After the first wash, that coating disappears, leaving behind a stiff, scratchy plastic mesh that loses its shape. Then there's the dye instability. Have you ever noticed your black t-shirts turning a sickly, mottled gray-purple after just 3 washes? That is intentional dye bleed. Brands use the cheapest possible fixing agents, knowing that the loss of color vibrance triggers a deep psychological response in the consumer. A faded shirt looks old and dirty to our brains, even if it's only 3 weeks old. And when it looks old, you feel the social pressure to replace it. They aren't just selling you a shirt, They are selling you a ticking clock of aesthetic decay. But if the fabric doesn't kill the garment, the microscopic engineering will. Let's go under the microscope at the seams. In quality tailoring, you have what's called a backstitch, or reinforced stress points. If you look at the armpit or the crotch of a high-end pair of trousers, there is extra fabric called a gusset and double stitching to handle the tension of human movement. In the world of the fast fashion scam, these are the first things to be stripped away. They use a single thread overlock. It's the fastest, cheapest way to join two pieces of fabric. It looks fine on the rack, but it has zero structural integrity. The industry has actually calculated the exact minimum number of stitches per inch required to hold the garment together through the try-on phase in the store and perhaps 2 wash cycles at home. Anything more is viewed by the corporation as a waste of profit. There are rooms full of engineers and cost analysts in headquarters calculating how weak they can make a seam before it becomes a legal liability. They aren't building a product, they're building a countdown timer. Have you ever put on a t-shirt and noticed that after one wash, the side seams have twisted toward the front? That's called torquing. It happens because the fabric was cut in the wrong direction of the grain to save a few cents of fabric per garment. They know it will happen, and they know it makes the shirt unwearable because it won't hang straight. They simply don't care, because by the time it twists, they already have your money, and you've likely thrown the receipt away. Think about the zippers and the buttons. High-quality garments use brass or heavy-duty steel zippers. Fast fashion uses plastic or pot metal that is designed to snag or snap. Why? Because a broken zipper usually means the end of a garment's life for the average consumer. Most people don't know how to sew in a new zipper, and a tailor would charge more than the original cost of the jacket to fix it. So, you throw it away and buy a new one. The scam is complete. Now, all of this engineering to make things fail leaves us with a massive problem. We want to look good, we want to express ourselves, but we don't want to be victims of the disposable clothing scam. We're stuck between paying $500 for a luxury item or $15 for something that melts in the rain. The problem is that the middle ground of fashion has vanished. Most of what you find in the mall is just overpriced junk that'll be in a landfill by next season. It sucks to feel like you're throwing money away every time you try to refresh your wardrobe, feeling the fabric get thinner and the zippers get flimsier every single year. You work hard for your money, and seeing it disintegrate in the washing machine is a special kind of frustration. That's exactly why you need to check out The Real Real. The Real Real is the world's largest authenticated luxury resale marketplace, and it's the ultimate solution to escaping the fast fashion cycle once and for all. The core problem is that new has become synonymous with cheap, but The Real Real flips that script. I've been using The Real Real for years to find pieces that actually have resale value and real structural integrity. There's a reason more than hundreds of thousands of shoppers use The Real Real. Their team of in-house experts, from authenticators to gemologists, inspects and authenticates every single item before it hits the site. You get the peace of mind knowing you're buying the real deal, not some flea market knockoff. By using them, you get the benefit of owning high-quality designer pieces made of real silk, genuine wool, and heavy-duty denim that will outlive us all. And you get them for up to 90% off retail prices. We're talking about getting a designer blazer for the price of a polyester one at the mall. The coolest part? The app is incredibly slick. You can filter by pristine condition or even find items that are new with tags. You can even consign your own items later to keep the value circulating in your own pocket rather than the trash. Stop falling for the engineered to fail scam and start investing in pieces that actually last. Click the link in the description below to browse The Real Real and stop the cycle of disposable fashion today. We've talked about the bad stitching and the cheap plastic fabrics, but there is a deeper, more insidious layer to this scam: the psychological engineering. In the old days, fashion had 4 seasons. Today, the giants of the industry have 52 seasons a year. They have created a micro-trend machine. New trends are manufactured every single week on social media by an army of influencers who are often sent massive hauls just to make you feel like your current wardrobe is obsolete. This is the dopamine scam. By making the trends move so fast, the industry ensures that even if your clothes don't physically fall apart, they become socially obsolete within a month. Let's talk about the cost per wear lie that is keeping you broke. Most people look at a $10 t-shirt and a $50 t-shirt and think they are saving $40. But let's do the real math. The math the industry hopes you never calculate. If the $10 shirt is engineered to fail after 5 washes because the seams torque and the fabric pilling makes it look like a rag, you've paid $2 every single time you wore it. If the $50 shirt, made with long staple cotton and reinforced seams, lasts 100 washes and still looks good, you've paid 50 cents per wear. The cheap shirt is actually 400% more expensive over time. This is the Sam Vimes Boots theory of socioeconomic unfairness. It states that the reason the rich are rich is because they can afford to buy a $50 pair of boots that will last for years, while the poor man can only afford $10 boots that leak after a season, forcing him to spend $100 on boots over the same period. The fast fashion industry has weaponized this theory. They rely on sticker shock to keep you trapped in the cycle of buying the cheap version over and over again. They don't want you to save up for the quality item, because that would mean they lose you as a repeat customer for the next 3 years. They are banking on your immediate need to save a few dollars today so they can extract hundreds from you tomorrow. The scam doesn't end at your wallet, and this is where it gets truly dark. When a garment is designed to fail, its destination is inevitable: the landfill. We are currently producing over 100 billion garments a year. That's enough for every person on Earth to have 14 new items of clothing every single year. But we don't keep them. In places like the Atacama Desert in Chile, there are literal mountains of discarded fast fashion visible from space. Because these clothes are made of synthetic polyesters, which are essentially oil-based plastics, they don't biodegrade. They sit there for 200 years, leaching toxic dyes and microplastics into the groundwater. In Accra, Ghana, the Kantamanto market is flooded with dead white man's clothes, the leftovers of our disposable culture that are so poorly made that even the world's most talented tailors can't fix them. They end up being burned in massive, toxic bonfires on the beach or clogging the local rivers. And the people making them? They are trapped in the same engineering for failure mindset. Factories in the global south are pushed to produce at such a breakneck speed that safety protocols and a living wage are viewed as inefficiencies that get cut from the corporate budget. When a company is selling a shirt for $5, they aren't paying the person who made it a fair wage. It's mathematically impossible. The scam is global. You get a shirt that falls apart, the worker gets a wage they can't live on, and the planet gets a pile of plastic that will never go away. The only people winning are the CEOs who have become the richest people on Earth by selling us garbage disguised as choice. So, how do you beat the scam? You have to become a consumer detective. You have to stop looking at the brand name on the front and start looking at the construction on the inside. First, use the tug test. Gently but firmly pull the seams of a garment. If you see daylight between the threads immediately, it's engineered to fail. Put it back. Second, use the light test. Hold the fabric up to a bright light. If the light comes through in a patchy, uneven way, the fibers are low density, and the garment will pill or lose its shape within a month. Third, look at the buttons. Are they sewn on with a single loop of thread, or is there a shank that allows the fabric to sit under the button? A missing shank is a sign of cost cutting. Fourth, read your labels like your bank account depends on it. Avoid polyblends whenever possible. Look for 100% natural fibers: cotton, linen, silk, and wool. These materials breathe, they age gracefully, and they can actually be repaired. A polyester tear is forever because you can't easily reweave plastic. A cotton tear can be mended and made stronger. I want to hear from you guys, because the only way to break this system is through collective awareness and sharing our experiences. We've all had that one piece of clothing. Maybe it was a pair of jeans that split the first time you sat down, or a viral dress that looked like a kitchen rag after one wash. Which brand was the biggest offender for you? Who sold you the most obvious piece of engineered garbage? And here's a bigger question for the comments. Do you think these multi-billion-dollar companies should be legally required to provide durability ratings or expected wash cycles on their tags, just like appliances have energy ratings? Imagine seeing a tag that says, expected life, 4 washes. Would you still buy it? Drop a comment below. I'm going to be reading through and hearting the most shocking stories of clothing failure. Let's expose these brands together and warn others before they waste their hard-earned money. The fast fashion industry is a masterpiece of deception. It has convinced us that we need more than we do, that quality is just for snobs, and that a $5 shirt is a bargain. But now you know the truth. You're not buying clothes, you're buying a countdown. You are buying a product that was designed in a boardroom to leave you unsatisfied so that you'll come back and spend more. It is a treadmill that is designed to keep you running in place while your money flows into their pockets. If you found this investigation helpful and you're ready to stop being a victim of the disposable economy, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button right now. It tells the YouTube algorithm that this kind of deep dive content matters and helps spread the word to others who are being scammed by these giant corporations. Share this video with that one friend who is always doing massive hauls. They need to see the forensics of what they're actually buying. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Here at the World of Scam, we don't just look at the surface. We look at the engineering of the systems trying to separate you from your money. But if you think the clothing industry is dirty, you haven't seen anything yet. You might want to go check your kitchen pantry after this, because there is a scam happening in your local grocery store involving international crime syndicates, the Mediterranean underground, and billions of dollars in counterfeit liquid gold. This is a scam that isn't just taking your money, it's affecting your health. Click right here to watch our investigation into the olive oil scam run by the mafia. You'll never look at a bottle of extra virgin the same way again. Stay skeptical, stay informed. I'll see you in the next one.